Hello everyone, welcome, my name is Phoenix and this is the Consumer's Guide to Filmmaking. Hundreds of Beavers. 2024, Mike Cheslick. This film follows a man named Jean Kayak. Formerly a cider man, his booming business is reduced to ash when a group of beavers steal the wood holding up his cider distillery. Now stuck in the winter, his only goal at this point is food. Eventually meeting a fur trapper and the resident fur dealer, Jean falls smitten for the dealer's daughter. But in order to take her hand in marriage, he must show he is a master trapper. Now with a new profession in goal, Jean uses his tools and newfound skills to collect animal pelts, specifically beavers, doing whatever he can to be with his new love. I had put this film off for far too long, and shame on me for that, because the hype around this film was worth it. This was one of the best comedies made in God knows how long. For those that don't know what this film is essentially an ode to many things. In particular though, it is paying homage to the silent comedies from the likes of Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton, more so Buster Keaton. Made on a budget of 150,000 smackaroonies, Cheslick showed an incredible self-awareness of the resources he had at his disposal. Presented like a silent film, Cheslick combined modern technology with filmmaking techniques of the 20s and 30s. Even though he's shooting on a high-quality digital camera, you see much of what would be seen in those old silent pictures. Static frames, that peephole sort of shot used for focusing on a subject, sped up footage, so on and so on. But these set pieces were constructed through the use of 2D animation, green screens, projectors, and all other assortment of technology that has been used for the past 80 to 100 years. It is visually stunning work, and I really want to see a behind-the-scenes featurette about how he constructed these set pieces blow for blow. The production design was an exemplary example of using limited resources to your advantage. While they did shoot on location in the wilderness during the winter and built some of these sets, more complex sets and locales were obviously done using green screen. The costumes were just mascot costumes from a Chinese manufacturer, with things like tape and other practical and cheap tools to create the comedic deaths of these critters. All of these cheap elements to the film fit perfectly with the tone, and I will touch more on that in a hot minute. The music is another thing that blends modern and classic elements. The score is composed with that buzzing bee, bouncy sort of vibe that is found in the silent pictures of the 20s. It enhances every slapstick gag throughout this film, but will change in an instant to become ominous, really enhancing those scenes when the wolves are introduced or Jean is looking at the weird shit the beavers are doing. At the very front and at the very back, the compositions take a little more of a modern approach. The opening musical number sounded like something from a couple decades after the silent picture era ended. The end credits had an 80s style Dick Cheese rock piece, which was a jam and it fit the finale perfectly. All these elements are in service to a script that is obviously a comedy. And let me tell you, this comedy is fucking phenomenal. The gags are simply just tight on the fundamentals. Setup, payoff throughout the entire film, and Cheslick leaves no stone unturned. Jean constantly being fucked by the wind when starting a fire, all the pratfalls with his traps, the people in cheap beaver costumes just gang beating Jean, the entire courtroom scene, it is absolutely bonkers. When the dogs on the sled stop for the night, they play card games, and when they get picked off, the game changes due to reduced numbers. That was a wonderful visual gag, especially when the last dog was just playing solitaire. But what I like most about the film is that it didn't stray away from doing more adult-themed gags and moments. There's a scene where we do a fake-out seppuku attempt, but Buddy is just cutting a sweater to make more tools. Jean's love interest strips down to fucking lingerie and does a stripper routine, which falls under the general gag of her getting her dad to beat him up. There is also a considerable amount of violence in the film as some of these forest creatures are getting fucking eviscerated. There's barely any blood and gore as most of it is presented as stuffing from a teddy bear, but the implication of violence is there, and that's pretty neat. Our cast bring an incredible physical charisma to the screen here. Ryland Brixton Cole Tooze, I will not say his full name ever again, plays Jean Kayak, and this guy was channeling everything from Buster Keaton, the Three Stooges, and Bugs fucking Bunny for this. He had such a wonderful physical presence and communicated so many emotions and thoughts through his facial and body language brilliantly. I was a big fan of Olivia Graves in this film as the fur trader's daughter. She presented herself in a very cute and charming manner, and her comedic timing was on point. Same goes for Wes Tank as the fur trader. He nailed that ornery old man bit really well, and I love the gag of him missing the spit bucket. It's great. Good God, this is one of those movies that embodies and defines everything I want out of filmmaking. Mike Cheslick and his collaborator Ryland Tooze had this absurd vision, and they just went out and made it. Bringing the silent comedy era to the 21st century, Hundreds of Beavers is crafted with the love and care of a true auteur, and most importantly, it is pants-shittingly funny. Anyone from older children to adults would get so much out of this film. I highly suggest you find a way to watch this movie. You know what it is. 10 out of 10. Catch you later, guys.